Koei Tecmo and Omega Force's 21-year-old Dynasty Warriors series has never been known to step outside its comfort zone. But Dynasty Warriors 9 is not your typical Dynasty Warriors game. For the first time, the developers have retired the tried and true segmented mission structure in favor of a large but empty-feeling open-world map. But if this is the vision of what a modern Dynasty Warriors game is, then I'd prefer a flashback to the series' more focused and co-op friendly past instead. Combat in Dynasty Warriors 9 is its simplest joy, and at its height, it's like a ballet of beautiful, high-flying violence. Firing tornadoes out of swords can wreck an entire battlefield, juggling dozens of enemies in the air. Raining ice and fire from the sky is as easy as pointing a finger. Basic combat is the expected simple button mashing to cut down enemies along the path to victory, but it's made slightly more interesting by the new trigger attacks to let you stun, launch, and knock down enemies. You can then follow these moves up with flow attacks, which lets you chain combos together and go directly into another trigger attack, or set them up for a special or big Musou attack. It's all a bit overwhelming at first, but once your thumb falls into the rhythm, it's very natural. It certainly does make a strong case for why mindless murder can be a ton of fun. And it is mindless. Most missions consist of showing up, cutting through a few dozen nameless grunt units, and then taking out a named enemy that has a few extra attacks and a lot more health. This means that, other than your character choice and the surrounding scenery, virtually every combat encounter feels about the same. As a first for the series, Dynasty Warriors 9 is an open-world game. Its map does check a lot of boxes in terms of features. It's got large open spaces to explore, tons of collectible materials to gather for crafting, and dozens of cookie-cutter missions peppered across the landscape from a variety of bland quest-giver NPCs. It's just all so lifeless. One thing that the move to an open-world map does do well is communicate the spectacle of warfare. While you're out fighting or exploring, you'll get updates about the shifting front lines as officers are defeated in real time, which is really cool. But while it's nice that you don't see many loading screens between missions, at least as much time is spent doing nothing of interest because you often have to gallop across vast, empty landscapes for minutes on end to get to your next waypoint. For every dramatic, flourishing step forward with its combat, Dynasty Warriors 9 stumbles 2 or 3 steps backward in some other way. This time around, there are no kingdom management modes, no survival or challenge modes, or anything else. You can eventually unlock a basic free play mode, but Dynasty Warriors 9 desperately needs more variety up front. To be very clear, this means there is no multiplayer whatsoever, no online co-op, no local split-screen co-op, and no competitive modes. Sharing in the bloodshed of thousands of digital soldiers with a buddy by your side had become something of a staple for Dynasty Warriors in recent years, so the omission was immediately noticeable. After the resounding success of Dynasty Warriors 8, 9 feels like a major step back. What's lost in the move toward a massive open world far outweighs the minor benefits. While the simple but empowering button-mashing combat sees some good additions, it wasn't enough. The lack of multiplayer, missing alternate game modes, and emptiness of ancient China just isn't satisfying. For more on Dynasty Warriors, check out the opening cinematic or our feature on 9 new things in Dynasty Warriors 9. And for everything else, keep it right here at IGN.
For me!